What's up, guys? Welcome to the house. It's 2 on J here. Let's talk compressors. What is a compressor? A compressor, it controls volume. It just controls volume and dynamic range. So if you have peaks in your mix, in your signal, then it'll turn those peaks down to make them match each other. It kind of gives it more of a balance in your signal. But not a lot of people get it misconstrued. It doesn't just turn the peaks down. It also brings the noise floor up. So that's kind of what a compressor does. There's a couple of main knobs in a compressor here. I have a session here from one of a great client of mine. I'll show you what his vocal sounds like without any compression first. He does have auto-tune and some EQ on it, but I just want to show you what the compressor's actually doing. Today I'm going to show you with an H comp. This is from Waves. It's a Waves plugin. So this is it not compressed. It's just raw EQ, no compression.
Yeah, pull up on the scene, ain't stopping and stay when I walk in the room. I know I'ma blow, one thing for sure, better get in tune. Speeding in the V, I don't care, I make it go boom. Still OD in a white tee. All the baddies call me cute.
Okay, and he sounds good. The auto-tune is smacking, it's doing its thing, but he's also kind of low, And he also has some peaks in there in his dynamic range that can be more controlled with a compressor. I'm going to walk you through some of the basic knobs of a compressor, really. First, we have the threshold. Now, the threshold here, let me show you where the threshold is. This right here, this is what tells the compressor when to start turning the signal down. So it's like if you're in the car with your mom and you start turning up your favorite song, how loud can you turn up that music before she's like, nope, that's too loud, and she starts to turn it down? That's what the threshold is going to tell you. So we also have a ratio here. A ratio tells you how much are we going to turn it down by. So say I turn it up to 20, but my threshold is at 19. So once my mother here gets to 20, in my ratio, I might have a ratio from 1 to 3. 1 to 3 of a ratio means if you exceed 3 dB decibels over that 20, then it's going to turn it down to 1. It'll turn down that the signal. I'm going to show you exactly how I would compress this vocal real quick, just so you can hear the difference real quick. Just using the threshold and the ratio.
She ain't stopping and stay when I walk in the room. I know I'ma blow, one thing for sure, better get in tune. Speeding in the V, I don't care, I make it go boom. Still OD in a white tee. All the baddies call me cute.
Okay, so you see we got our needle jumping a little bit. Okay, now let me tell you about these other knobs that we have here. We also have attack and release. So what the attack does is when you turn up your music in your mom's car, how long is it going to take her to realize that that's getting too loud? So if you have a slow attack, you can turn it up and then she might forget for maybe 2 to 3 seconds and then start to turn it down. But if you have a fast attack, as soon as it hits that threshold, she's going to turn it down right away. So let's see what we can do with our attack here.
Yeah, pull up on the scene, ain't stopping and stay when I walk in the room. I know I'ma blow, one thing for sure, better get in tune. Speeding in the V, I don't care, I make it go boom. Still OD in a white tee. All the baddies call me cute, I hit 2. Now I need me to end 1.
Okay, so I set the attack to about 50%. It's not, if you set a fast attack, sometimes you might get rid of some of the transients, the initial, starting points of the signal. So in some cases, you might want a fast attack, like when you're dealing with instruments, a snare with a transient. But when it comes to vocals, you might want a slower attack just to ease it in a little bit. Now, when you go to your release, the release is how long is it going to take your mom to forget that she turned down the sound before you can turn your sound back up to the normal volume? And my rule of thumb is I never go over 3 with a compressor. See, the needle's kind of hitting around the middle, that 1.5 range. We're just trying to get the peaks. As I mess with the release, you'll see that the pin, what is this thing called? You'll see that the meter will show you how fast it takes for the compressor to get back to normal volume. Right? Okay, let's see how that works. It goes back very fast. Now I turn it up, and it returns slower. Now when you're messing with your release, you always want to make sure that it's able to get back to zero. Because if it's not getting back to zero, that might give you a signal that you're compressing just a little too much on that threshold. So let me set these settings to where I might like them, and then I'll bypass the compressor and actually show you guys what this is doing. The compressor is it's a hard concept, you know. A lot of people have trouble with this. But it's just the glue of the mix. As I said, it brings down your peaks and it brings up the noise floor. So boom. Let me set some settings.
Yeah. Pull up on the scene, ain't stopping and stay when I walk in the room. I know I'ma blow, one thing for sure, better get in tune. Speeding in the V, you know I don't care, I make it go boom. Still OD in a white tee. All the baddies call me cute, I hit two. Now I need me the N1.
Notice how that compressor is just catching his loud parts of his dynamic range. Now I'm going to do an A and B on the bypass just so you guys can see the difference and how this is affecting his vocal. I'll even turn a filter on the beat so you can hear the vocal even better. Let's use the one knob from Waves, so love it. Alright, so this is it, not compressed, no compression.
Yeah, pull up on the scene, ain't stopping and stay when I walk in the room. I know I'ma blow, one thing for sure, better get in tune. Speeding in the V, you know I don't care, I make it go boom. Still OD in a white tee. All the baddies call me cute, I hit two. Now I need me the N1.
As you can see, it brings a lot more balance to the signal. You know, it's not just jumping everywhere when he gets loud or he gets quiet. It brings those loud parts and those quiet parts together so it sounds like one thing. You know, and that's how you use your compressor. Let me do that one more time.